Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is a fantastic game made by Ubisoft, and I can't believe I've just uttered those words. I finally have enough hours in the game that I think I can make a full-on video about it. I've got nearly 3 days played. I've got pretty much all the main game achievements and have started work on the DLCs. This game is fantastic. However, there are a few issues that I will touch on in this video that do kind of spoil the experience. Now, first things first, we'll touch on gameplay in the open world. This has to be one of the best open worlds Ubisoft have made in a very, very long time. Pandora is big, expansive. We have 3 major regions. So we've got the Kinglaw Forest, the Upper Plains, and the Clouded Forest. 3 major regions that you unlock as you progress the story with your Ikran, and you can fly around the map once you've unlocked them all and just fly around freely. The open world doesn't feel overly bloated. It doesn't feel like it's full of unnecessary things to do, and it doesn't feel big and empty. Although it can feel like that sometimes when you're flying around. There's plenty of things to do in this game, all of which are very different. So you've got bell sprigs, to increase your health. You've got bladewing moths to follow to get goodies. You've got various collectibles, so Aeolian wind flutes, Sarentu totems, memory paintings, Kamatire dolls, comic book pages of all things. And kites as well, windswept kites. So there's plenty of different things to be exploring in the open world. You've got hunting, harvesting, fishing in some sense, and loads of side activities to do as well. Side quests which vary from finding someone to taking on an encampment. Speaking of encampments, you've got outposts and for pollution and things like that. In a nutshell, guys, this is one of the best open worlds we've had from Ubisoft in yonks. It's not overly bloated. It doesn't feel big and empty. There's just enough here to make the world feel lived in. You'll bump into different Na'vi as you travel around just randomly, who will either give you things to help you out, or they'll tell you of something nearby on the map, whether it's a collectible or an outpost or something. The world feels lived in. It doesn't just feel big and empty for no reason other than for Ubisoft to say, oh, we made a massive map, look at us go. Because that was one of my biggest issues with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The world was stupidly big and there was just too much to do. Now, the story of this game is, I'll break it down into thirds. So the first 2/3 of the story of this game are quite good. It's kind of a slow-ish build with plot twists here and there. You build up and a major event will happen and then things will calm down a little bit and then another major event will happen and then things will calm down again a bit and so on and so forth. Where this changes is towards the end of the game, the last kind of third of the game or so, where the game goes from 0 to 100 and all of a sudden we wrap everything up really, really quickly. This to me feels rushed. It's not a bad ending to a game, not by no means. It's not terrible, but it feels like the studio were like, oh no, we're running out of time. We need to wrap this up now, guys. We've taken too long. And they kind of hurried along the end of the game. Now, that could just be because I did a lot of the side stuff first and then smashed through a lot of the main story. It could just be that, but it just feels like to me that the end of the game was very, very rushed. Again, not because it's bad, just because it feels like everything happened too quickly. It feels like the pacing was a little bit off, as if the studio were running out of time and they had to get it, knuckle down and get it finished. Some people might disagree with that. That's just my opinion personally. Now, obviously flying on your Ikran is one of the most fun things I've done in a game in ages. You get to name it, which is really, really nice. You can pet it, you can change the cosmetics, you can decorate it. It is one of the coolest things ever, hands down. Flying around, jumping off your Ikran, getting them to catch you and stuff. It never gets old. It's so fun. And even just exploring the open world, just running around and nosing and just getting lost in Pandora and wilderness is just surreal. As I've said before, I've never been a massive Avatar fan. I haven't really watched the movies, but just wandering around Pandora and just getting lost and just exploring is this game is one of the prettiest games I've played in a long time. It looks incredible. The graphics are phenomenal. The world is incredibly, pretty. There's just so much to look at. Combat then as well. So combat's great for the most part. So thematically it works. It's very hit and run for the most part. Shoot a guy here, shoot a guy there with your bow and arrow, move to a different position, lose them a little bit, take off another one, so on and so forth. You can use RDA weapons, so shotgun and assault rifle if you want to, and those do allow you to take a bit more of a head-on approach because those weapons are stronger a lot of the time. But you can't just tank every single fight because your health does get decimated. Even after me collecting loads of bell sprigs, which boost your health permanently, I still can't stand my own in a fight very long, which again is on purpose because thematically it makes sense. The Na'vi are on the back foot a little bit when it comes to tech because they don't have any technology. Bows, arrows, spears, that's what they use. So, you're fighting guns and shotguns, assault rifles, etc. Of course, it's going to be, harder for them than it is for the RDA. Again, not to say that you can't just go one-on-one, it's just you're going to be burning through healing items like there's no tomorrow. Stealth is really, really fun, although I do wish we had stealth finishers, which we don't in the main game. The most you can do is sneak up on an enemy and melee them, but meleeing them sends their corpse halfway across from you, which almost every time gets the corpse detected and then puts you in combat anyway. So your best bet is using a bow and arrow from a distance. But stealth is really fun. Picking off people and doing an outpost silently is fun, but so is doing it loudly and getting the alarm going and having a bunch of choppers coming in with reinforcements and just wreaking absolute havoc on the RDA. Either way is fun. Obviously silently gets you more rewards, but whatever floats your boat. Maybe prefer having more enemies to fight. Is up to you. Like I said, story's really good, combat's really good, the open world is great, there's lots to do, but it doesn't feel too big and bloated. And obviously, like I said as well, the stealth is pretty decent as well. Again, I just wish we had stealth finishers. Now, another big thing, this doesn't really apply to me because I'm not really that bothered, but I know a lot of people were, is the game recently had an update to add third-person mode to the game, because a lot of people wanted that. Now, I don't really play in third-person on this game, and the reason I don't is because I'm very accustomed to games like Far Cry, and while this game, like I've said before, is unfair to say it's just a reskin of Far Cry, because it isn't. It's very different in a lot of ways. I just play it in first person. It just feels natural to me. But I know a lot of people are very happy about the third person update. And it is, I see the appeal. It is fun to see your Na'vi running around doing combat from third person, and that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. If that's how you want to play, then play it that way. That's fine. But for me, I just prefer first person. It just feels a lot more natural to me. But, it is a good update. If people are asking for it and the devs have listened, it's nice to see they're still supporting the game and listening to their player base, because that's a sign of a good game dev. If you listen and you make the improvements, you're going in the right direction. As for DLCs, I can't really speak too much on them because I've only just started the Skybreaker, but it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying what I've played so far, so I'm hoping for good things with those. And the last DLC I'll be playing is Fire and Ash, which is the newest one, obviously based on the third film. I'm really excited to play that one because I've heard that you do have proper stealth mechanics in that, like finishers and things, so I'm very, very excited to play that, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that once I've 100%ed it. Now, the only few issues I do have with this game mainly apply to co-op. Now, I know obviously this won't mean much to everyone because a lot of people would have played this game on their own and not in co-op, and that's fine. But in a nutshell, co-op is a bit of a nightmare for whoever's player 2 because it can bug a lot of your achievement tracking percentages for like pollution and things. Now, if you don't care about that, it doesn't really matter to you. For me and Alex, it did, because obviously she had to try and fix hers early on and Needy had to start a new playthrough, but luckily didn't. It also means a lot of the activities player 2 just can't do. So, for example, like Bellsprig, Sarin, Two Totems, memory paintings, etc. There's a lot of stuff that player 2 isn't allowed to do if they're not in their own world, which kind of defeats the whole point of co-op, because one person's getting everything done and the other person's going to have to go back and do it all on their own. It's just a backwards move, in my opinion. But the biggest kick in the balls is that Alex and me yesterday went to start the Skybreaker DLC together. She went to join my game. Her game crashed. She tried it 2 more times, gave up, and said she would just play it on her own, but alongside me, so in a party together. And her files have corrupted. She has to start a brand new playthrough all over again because the game has like basically corrupted her files because of it. Now, I don't know if that's a common issue or not. I don't know because it didn't happen to me. But I know what it's like for a game to corrupt files and just bin all of your progress permanently. It's not a nice feeling, and it really, really puts you off playing the game because you know you have to do everything all over again, and that's not fun. No matter how good the game is, having to replay stuff you've already done just because the game broke, it is never ever fun. Understandably, she was upset and annoyed, and obviously that meant we just weren't going to risk playing the DLCs together because it was just obviously going to break the game. So I don't know if this is a major issue. I hope it isn't, but if it is, the devs really need to get on that, because trying to play co-op should not crash the game and delete your save data like permanently. That's ridiculous. But also, co-op is just kind of crap in this game anyway. Like I said, one person can do everything and one player 2 can't. It just defeats the whole point of playing co-op. You might as well not bother, because player 2 is always going to be playing catch-up, redoing stuff they've already done with you, because they're not allowed to participate on it in your game. It makes no sense at all. Only other thing is the game's got New Game Plus. I don't know if that came as base game or if they added it, but it's, it's a nice addition. I probably won't do it. I'll probably do the DLCs 100% it and then uninstall it like I do most games. But if if you really enjoy the main game and you're not quite interested in getting the DLCs, or maybe you can't because you haven't got the money spare, which is fair enough. New Game Plus is a nice twist. Obviously, replay the game again, but with all your unlocks. And obviously, you get to redo all the outposts and things and redo the story again. And try playing the game in a different way. So that's always fun as well, because New Game Plus lets you play a game again just slightly more overpowered. But it's something to do. It's more enjoyable as well. But yeah, Avatar, like I said, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is a great game, but the co-op does let it down. Either the two options should have been either the co-op is improved drastically, so player 2 can participate and there's no crashing and no deleting of data, making you start a new game all over again, or alternatively the game just shouldn't have had co-op from the get-go and should have just scrapped it and not bothered. One or the other. It should have been really, but that's my only real criticism. Like, the gameplay is solid, the campaign, like I said, for the most part is solid. The open world is one of the best we've had from Ubisoft in a very long time. The world looks amazing. The enemy archetypes are very, very good. For the most part, it is a very good game. So even if you're not a massive Avatar fan like me, I'd still give this game a go. It's only like on sale. I think it's like £20 odd. I don't know what it is in dollars. I don't know. But it's worth giving a go. If you like Far Cry and that sort of thing, definitely give it a go, because it's very much got those kind of vibes. But it isn't just a reskin of Far Cry. It's a lot more than that. But it is very familiar as well in some aspects, which is a good thing in my opinion, because the Far Cry DNA is really, really good. Not so much with the newer games, but with some of the older ones like 3 and 4, definitely really, really strong. So that's my video on Frontiers of Pandora, Avatar. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you like content like this, then subscribe to my channel. I do a video like this every single Friday at 5 p.m. and have shorts running throughout the week. So if you could all drop a like, comment, and a subscribe, because I am trying to make a career out of this, I'd really, really appreciate it. Leave a comment, let me know if you've played the game and what your favourite part is, and if you haven't, then like I said, give it a go. You'll be surprised. And yeah, much love as always, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye for now.